Well, thank you for joining us for the next edition of Walking Wednesday. We have been all over the city already, and we'll be in more places, so please keep watching. Now we are in our beautiful downtown area. We are at First Presbyterian Church, which I am very familiar with. This is a wonderful church, a great pastor, wonderful people, but also they do quite a bit for the community. We've got a community garden here. We've got a nonprofit that helps others, Northwest Initiatives. We've got so many things that are done right out of one of our very own churches here in the downtown. It's a great example of public-private partnerships and again, nonprofits with the faith community jumping in, the city supporting it. Really, it's a wonderful place to be. But we're going to leave here and we're going to go check out throughout the downtown and see many of the different things that we highlight in our downtown. Of course, we're the state capitol, which I hope you know. But if you don't, come downtown and see our capitol, see our thriving business community down Washington, see all the great things we have. We have our state government, we have our city government. We have so many great things happening in our downtown. We have Impressions 5, we have museums, we have the Hall of Justice. There's so many great things that we want to highlight. You're not going to see all of those, but you're going to see some. So thanks for joining us, and we'll start out with First Presbyterian.
We're happy to be part of the Mayor's Walk here in the downtown area. We welcome you to the First Presbyterian Church of Lansing. I believe we were the first church building in the city before it was even a city. So we've got a long history here. This is, I believe, our third building in this location. One of the things that we feel very strongly is we have this beautiful building right here in the heart of downtown, and that allows us to use it as a resource. We see it as a community asset, so we invite as many groups as possible to come and join us. You'll hear from a lot of them. I may be a little bit biased, but we are a very open and outward-looking congregation. I've never quite seen a group of people so volunteer-minded and community-minded. It just makes me very proud to be a part of this community. Some of the things that we are working on now actively is for a number of years now, we've been having a series of conversations on race. Included with that are all-church reads. We've done, this is the second year we're doing an all-church read with Union Missionary Baptist Church under the very able leadership of Reverend Dr. Jones. We've had pulpit exchanges, joint worship services. We've had game nights together. The point is we're trying to build bridges in our community. And the fact that we share a faith makes that immediately easier. And it's wonderful for us to get a chance to get to know people better. This is our beautiful memorial garden. This is where members can come and have their ashes interred. It's a just very peaceful, lovely place. You can't see it, you guys can't see it, but the Capitol Dome is right there. We also have over here a time capsule. We worked with an organization named Sunrise who are looking to promote information about climate change. So in 50 years, it will be open. We buried it in 2017, and we filled it with messages from our children talking about what they think the environment's going to look like in 50 years. So I don't know if any of us will be around to see it. But this is the seal of the Presbyterian Church USA. It's made up of several symbols together. It forms a cross, but as you'll see, there's a dove for the Holy Spirit, also the flames for the Holy Spirit. There's a baptismal font. There's also a clerical yoke. What else is there, Sallie? And a fish. And Bible, fish. We got it all. It's all in there.
This is a peace pole that our program dedicated and donated to the church as a thank you gift for all the years that they've opened their church to our students coming here to earn a high school diploma. what we do is high school completion for adult refugees. So we have worked with 205 students over the last 10 years. We have 80 graduates, and 40 of those students are currently enrolled right now. They come from a variety of countries. We have 23 different countries represented over the past 10 years. And our students range in age from 18 to 61. We have a really close relationship with RDC, St. Vincent Catholic Charities Refugee Services, Samaritas, IRRC, AFAR, a lot of different organizations that work with our refugee and immigrant community here in Lansing. We're just really grateful that we are able to offer this opportunity to refugees who are resettled in the Lansing area that may come here with either a very interrupted educational background, limited educational background, or no educational background, and help them get that educational foundation that they need in order to upgrade their employment, move on to post-secondary education. A lot of our students go on to LCC from here. We have students who have become paramedics and firefighters and flight attendant. We have a graduated medical school. So being able to give them that opportunity, knowing that age should never hold somebody back when it comes to their education. We're really proud of the work that we do here.
So Northwest Initiative is a small nonprofit organization that primarily serves low-income residents who live in the north and west and downtown quadrants and sections of the city of Lansing and Lansing Township. Our territory is quite large. We have 4 zip codes that we serve: 48906, 48915, 48917 east of Waverly Road, and 48933. So we provide a variety of services. We have 3 major program areas: our outreach, which does a lot of outreach into the community to make sure that we can reach the populations that need our services. We run the Lansing Mobile Farmers Market, which is the truck that's over there. We go into 6 low-income neighborhoods on Thursdays and Fridays, selling fresh fruits and vegetables, and at really rock-bottom prices, along with breads and honey and jams and things like that. We also have a food distribution, which is a free program that we run twice a month for any individuals who live in these 4 zip codes. And we just do a lot of other things. With COVID-19, some of the things have been, kind of downsized a little bit until we can have people into the building. But we do the food distribution, and that's done so that people just pull up their cars here, and then we put the boxes of food in their cars for them. We have another program, which is ARROW. That's our It's our advocacy, resources, reentry, and outreach program. And that's where we help ex-offenders who are coming out of state or federal correctional facilities or long-term jail stays to help them get reacclimated back into the community, help them become whole again by making sure they have a valid driver's license and the things that you need in order to be able to get a job and go back to work. And so I want to just do a shout out real quick to make sure that all of our populations that are ex-offenders understand that they can register and they can vote in the upcoming election. And so that they need to do that as soon as possible, because many people think that they can't vote anymore because they couldn't vote when they were in prison, but they can if they're out of prison now. And then our third program is our food systems program. And that program has been doing garden-based nutrition education in 4 Lansing schools for the past since 2007. We currently were at Riddle and Willow, Geyer Park, and Sheridan Road. And so we taught over 1,000 students each month in the schools, where we do a lesson about a fruit or vegetable. The children get to make a food sample, taste it, vote on it, and learn about that fruit or vegetable and where it came from. So that's been really great in making sure that our young children learn about healthy eating and that things cooked various ways taste better than maybe what they had at the first time. So we're excited about that, and that program's been awesome to do. We couldn't do what we do without volunteers. So every year we have at least 350, 400 volunteers that help with our gardens, that help with each of our schools has a garden too that the children all help to create. And we've got a community garden, so they can always call us at 517-999-2894. They can reach out or come here or email me. It's Peggy, Peggy, at nwlansing.org for more information. But we are always looking for volunteers for the various programs that we operate.
I'm at this time the largest food pantry in the city of Lansing. I'm part of the Greater Lansing Food Bank, who actually funds us. This pantry started in 1977 by an associate pastor named Jeffries. At that time they called it John's Cupboard because he saw a need in the community for food. Since then we have built up. When I first started in this pantry about 25 years ago, I was serving about 25 clients a month. Now I'm serving upwards to 200 clients a month. And I've just taken on a larger area because of one pantry closed down, so I got all of theirs too. And because of other closed pantries, we're getting people from all over the city of Lansing and even Holt. Our motto is to give hungry people food. This pantry actually was a pantry of choice prior to the pandemic. The clients used to come into this room and do their own shopping with a grocery cart through here. Because my shelves are all labeled what they were allowed per each item. But since the pandemic, we've had to go to boxing food up for them. And we box it up, we put it out in the other room, and then they come up, they drive up to the curb outside, and we take it out and put it into their cars to ensure that we don't have too much contact with anyone. Right now, there is a big use for vegetables. It's either corn or green beans back and forth that we haven't been able to get from the food bank because these type of products, peanut butter and that, are being shipped down to all these disaster areas. So it's draining the system pretty good. All of my volunteers in this food bank, which I have probably 30 volunteers total, working in here safely. And their whole thing is they want to come in here and help the community.
Yeah, so this is the future site of the First Presbyterian Church's community garden. We had originally hoped to have it built by now and have beautiful things planted here. But of course, because of COVID, that didn't end up happening. So unfortunately, all we have are the 5 beds that you see here. But what's really exciting about these beds is that I think they really exemplify the goal of this garden, which is really to be welcoming, to be community oriented, to help build connections, and also to be, beautiful, and to provide healthy food. Because these beds actually that I'm sitting on right now were donations from the Greater Lansing Food Bank Garden Project, and they're wheelchair accessible. So we tried really hard to make this space be welcoming for everyone. So we paid attention to the beds. So actually wheelchair users can kind of scooch their wheelchair up under here. And even the gravel that we use, which isn't actually gravel, it's limestone, is really compacted so that any type of wheel, whether it be from a wheelchair, a stroller, whatever, can, move across no problem. So yeah, that's one of the really exciting things about it for me. It's a work in progress. The garden planning committee still has to meet a few times to, work out the kinks and the specifics. But yeah, we're actually hoping to get the rest of it built by the winter this year. So we're gonna have 15 of the 8-foot beds, so this size, and then 2 16-foot beds. And we'll actually be renting the beds to neighbors, community members, and local nonprofits that we either already have connections with, like the folks who spoke from Gill and from Northwest, but also like nonprofits that we don't have connections with yet, but that we want to have connections with so that their members can use it. Yeah, it's really up to them. We're going to have a few planters that will be tended by the garden as a whole, and they'll mostly be like border plantings of like natural grass or like herbs or something like that, some perennials. But really it'll be up to whoever uses it. We just want this to be like a site that can, facilitate people learning about gardening and learning about healthy food, and, like learning from each other too, because we have some awesome church members who are like master gardeners, and they could be great resources for any beginner gardeners that come along. And also like garden education, we're planning to have as a part of this. But yeah, first we have to get it built, but that will happen. Yeah, if you want to stay updated, you can follow the First Presbyterian Church of Lansing Facebook page. We'll post, anything that's happening in there, any volunteering opportunities coming up. We will need a lot of people to build these beds. So if you're interested in that, please follow the Facebook page, and we would love to have your help. And come on, stop on by whenever we're done.
Well, I can give you a little rundown on the Capitol itself that maybe some people don't know of or aren't familiar with. Number one, the Capitol building you see behind me was built from 1873 to 1878, and it was dedicated on New Year's Day, 1879. It is the third Capitol building, the first one being in Detroit, which was the first capital of Michigan back in 1837. The second Capitol building was built about 3 or 4 blocks from here, at the corner of Allegan and Washington, probably around where the current Chase Bank is located. And this right here is the third building. And the building behind me, you see, was designed by a man by the name of Elijah Myers. Mr. Myers not only was the architect that built or helped to design this building, but he's also the architect of the capitals of Texas and Colorado, something very few people know. If you can see right behind me, there's a flagpole right in front of the Capitol Dome. One of the few things that people don't know, I didn't even know this till I started working here, was that that's an actual indicator flag. When the American flag is flying at this flagpole, that means that the legislature is meeting. And as you can see right now, it's down, so they just finished their legislative session for the day. Well, I like working downtown in that it's a community. I can walk from my church, I can visit people at the church. There's a constant flow of people downtown from differing backgrounds. Overall, there's a general friendly attitude among people who work down here. And that's one of the highlights I feel about working down here as opposed to my other places of employment where it wasn't so diverse and as close.
This is Beacon Field, and it was built as an all-purpose, all-access soccer field, mini field for pickup games for any and all ages to be able to come to Ferris Park and play soccer. There are lots of young people who come down here and meet people who are from different parts of the neighborhood. Refugee kids come down here and meet American-born kids and children from young people from all different schools end up down here and can actually play games together. Ferris Park is open. It's a public park, and being that the church is located just a block and a half away from here, we often use the park for events that are community-based, and it's a lovely park. As far as the rest of downtown, I really like the Riverwalk and walking along past the old city market. And there's a playground and a new beach down there where kids can actually play in the sand. You can rent a kayak and go up and down the river there. The Riverwalk Theater is across from there, across Michigan Avenue from there. The Impression 5 Children's Science Museum is a great place to visit, as well as Ari Old's museum. There's a lot of old cars that have been kept in beautiful shape that we can see what people used to drive. There's just so much fun and so many places that you can visit in downtown Lansing that are free of charge or low priced, so that families can afford to actually spend some quality time together. So come down and visit us. Thank you so much for joining us in our little walking tour of the downtown area. It's really fun to be downtown. among the Lansing Community College students and everyone that's affiliated with them. We also have yoga that happens in the building here at First Press sometimes, and so we get to have some exercise around that. There's so much more to see than we've even been able to include this evening. The Hall of Justice is down the street that way. There's a Veterans Memorial you can visit that's really peaceful and beautiful. So come downtown and come visit us at First Press, and when we get the building back open, and then find some really fun and exciting places to visit. And here's DeLisa.
Thank you, Sallie. As always, thank you for joining us on our Walking Wednesday tour. This week we were in downtown Lansing with First Presbyterian Church. As Sallie mentioned, come visit them once their building opens back up. And if you are interested in hosting a Walking Wednesday tour with the Department of Neighborhoods and Citizen Engagement, check us out at lansingneighborhoods.info for more information.